Hello my YouTube friends, it's Margaret again, and I've just brought you into the grow room. You can see the temperature's 22.4 with 71% humidity. Now earlier on in the day, probably about 3 hours ago, I came up into the grow room and the temperature was 33 point whatever and the humidity was down to 38, and that really shocked me. And as you know, I still go out to work some days, and Keith said that this had happened earlier in the week, so of course he checks on me, and then he puts the humidifier on then, which is now blasting out. And but I just wanted to bring you in because the hotter it is, especially in the winter, the sun drops down and comes lower, so it penetrates more into this grow room than it actually does in the summer. And he said the other day that he had to actually pull the blind down a little bit. But anyway, while I'm here, there's another little mishap I want to just show you, but that's just on this other shelf. So there's the Phalaenopsis I've just repotted. This is the Fias, and that's just been allowed to take up some rainwater, and I'm not sure at what stage I'll repot that. It may be tomorrow, I don't know yet. This is of course the little Zorro, and just checked that today. I think this container, I think the media's fine. I may take that out because those roots are grey, so they could do with some water, and I'm not sure whether this has been potted in this or it's been in here a while. I've got to make my own mind up on that yet, and as I'm still recovering really from this awful virus that was going around, sometimes I feel absolutely shattered, and then other times I think, oh well, I'm getting a little bit better. Now let's have a look. These are the Dendrobium Phalaenopsis. That's the only one that's aborted quite a few of the flowers, and this is the Procatavalia and or Catavolia. That's been sat in some water to just take up a little bit of that. They've greened up, can you see there? So we'll have a look at them. That one another day. I need to do an update on some of the Phalaenopsis because that one I've had to take out of that glass vase and pot it up this way. The reason being, I do believe, is because we're going into this different change of weather, and some of the roots have been allowed to get a little bit too wet and they've rotted. Likewise with this one here. This was another one. So I've put this into this container, and the big ones in the vases I will have to check. I don't think I'll be able to do it tomorrow because some of these, well, I'll be having to water the mounts. That's that blue one that's only just dropped one bud. Isn't that wonderful? And if we tuck in here, that's Thailand Black. Right, now let me just show you over here. Let me just, if I can reach down now without doing too much damage, and bring these two down here. Do apologise if I go out of focus a little bit. Just wanted to catch the blooms. This is the Pseudolamelatum, and that's the one I call Avatar. So each one of these little individual blooms, I wish I'd got room just to put this down. Maybe I have here. You have to be careful though, because I don't want to, there we go. So that's, that was watered yesterday. Now that sphagnum moss is still damp. So that won't have to be watered tomorrow. And this is the other one. This is, can you see? It's got 1, 2, 3 of these blooms open, and those are starting to pink up as well. So we're doing well there. Now I just gently pan round for you without too much disturbance. We don't want to rush. Of course these are all here getting maximum light from this south facing window, and I've cut those canes off that Thrusiflorum, and let's have a look. That's where the new Laelia rubenscens, that's just positioned there, so you can see in the afternoon that gets the sunlight from this south facing window, and I think that position actually suits it quite well. That one down there is just slightly not as elevated as the other one. That's the Phalaenopsis amboyensis, so I might need to just try and elevate that one up a little bit higher. And this is what I wanted to show you. So as I say, I came into the grow room, and straight away I thought, goodness gracious, what's happened there? And you see that rotten leaf there, that bit of rot down there. Now I've put some dragon's blood in there just to see if that will stem that rot. And this one sits further back on this shelf. If I just push her back, it sits there. And you see, and I thought, oh, how's that happened? And I know exactly how that's happened, and it's my fault. And the reason it's my fault is that wasn't there, that. So when I watered these, that's the Laelia purpurata, when I watered this and that one, that's Cattleya Pamela Hetherington, and that's Pastoral Innocence. And when I watered them on Wednesday and brought them back and placed them up here, some water must have got through here and dropped into that crown. So, you know, so easily done, and I could kick myself that it's happened. And the only thing you can do now is keep your fingers crossed that I mean, that leaf's gone, but keep my fingers crossed that the dragon blood that I've put in there will prevent any more of that rot. And this one here, this one's fine, it's sending out a new leaf here, and that one's Frag Humboldtii. So this one's now adapting nicely, and can you see that new growth there? Like I say, because, you know, I've had this damn virus, I've not been able to be as vigilant as I'd like to be. And it only takes just a little thing like a drop of water dropping down, and you could lose your plant. So let me just pick this one up here, and I wanted to show, this is Pathiopedilum Caliper Kingii, and that's adapting nicely to my environment, and that's already showing me a new leaf coming through there. So I'm chuffed to bits with that one. You've got to be ever vigilant with your orchids. This is plecatile, and I'll have to water that because that's got no roots. But I do try and keep on top of, taking care of your orchids. Sometimes it's not always possible for whatever reason. And see, that one doesn't look too brilliant, does it? Look at that. See, that's run out of water down there, so I shall have to pot that up and put some more water in there. And this is that other little Pathiopedilum, Rothschildianum, Giant Wings by Titanic, and that seems to be quite happy now. That's coming along nice. Of course, this is one of the three sisters, as I call them. That's that other plecatile there. Anyway, I shall just have to come up tomorrow and have a look at all these orchids and see what needs attending to and what I've failed to water, but just giving a visual like I'm doing now. I think everything appears to be fine. That's the Laelia autumnalis, and I need to water that one as well. But so a very quick video just to bring you into the grow room to explain about our winter sun and the humidity and how important it is to keep the humidity up and watch your orchids. So I'll finish on that note, and I'll come back when I've got another potting video. So from me to you, take care. Bye bye now.